First contact and invasion. The skies over New York City darkened unnaturally on a crisp autumn morning in 2045. At first, many assumed it was an unseasonable storm, but as the strange shadow engulfed more of the planet, a chilling realization set in: Earth was no longer alone. Dr. Samantha Chen, lead astronomer at the Global Space Observatory, was the first to detect the massive object entering Earth's orbit. Her team had been tracking an anomaly for weeks, but nothing could have prepared them for the sheer scale of what appeared on their screens. It's a ship," she whispered, her voice trembling with a mixture of awe and fear. "And it's not alone." Within hours, similar reports flooded in from observatories worldwide. A fleet of colossal vessels, each easily the size of a small city, had taken position around Earth. The world held its breath, waiting for a sign of the visitors' intentions. That sign came in the form of a global broadcast, hijacking every communication channel on the planet. The message was simple and chilling. "People of Earth, your planet is now under the dominion of the Zarkan Empire. Surrender or face extinction." World leaders scrambled to respond. Emergency sessions of the United Nations convened, and militaries around the globe were put on high alert. Despite the clear threat, many still hoped for a peaceful resolution. Dr. Chen found herself thrust into the spotlight, summoned to advise the hastily assembled Earth Defense Council. "We need to try to communicate with them," she urged. "There must be a way to negotiate, to understand their motivations." Her pleas didn't fall on deaf ears. A team of linguists, diplomats, and scientists worked tirelessly to craft a response. They transmitted messages of peace, offers of cultural exchange, and pleas for coexistence. For 3 tense days, the world waited for a reply. The response came not in words, but in action. The Zarkan ships opened, releasing swarms of smaller craft. At first, many hoped these were diplomatic envoys. That hope was shattered when the first of the alien bioweapons touched down in the heart of Tokyo. The creature that emerged from the pod was like nothing Earth had ever seen. Standing over 4 meters tall, with a carapace that seemed to absorb light, it moved with terrifying speed and precision. Its limbs ended in razor-sharp claws that could slice through steel, and its maw dripped with a corrosive venom that melted everything it touched. This was just the first wave. Similar pods landed in major cities across the globe: New York, London, Moscow, Beijing. Each contained a different nightmare: bioengineered predators designed to hunt and kill humans with ruthless efficiency. Panic gripped the world as footage of the attacks spread. The creatures seemed unstoppable, shrugging off conventional weapons and adapting to each new tactic the military employed. Cities fell into chaos as millions tried to flee, clogging highways and overwhelming emergency services. In the midst of the carnage, pockets of resistance began to form. Colonel Sarah Hawkins, a decorated veteran, rallied a group of survivors in the ruins of Chicago. Armed with little more than determination and improvised weapons, they managed to trap and kill one of the smaller alien predators. "We can hurt them," Hawkins declared, her voice hoarse but filled with fierce resolve. "They bleed, and if they bleed, we can kill them." Similar stories of human resilience emerged from around the world. In Mumbai, a group of engineers rigged up an electromagnetic pulse device that temporarily stunned one of the larger creatures, allowing civilians to escape. In Rio de Janeiro, local gangs put aside their differences to form a unified defense force, using their intimate knowledge of the faithless to ambush and take down several alien hunters. Dr. Chen worked tirelessly with her team, analyzing every scrap of data they could gather on the invaders. "There's a pattern to their attacks," she realized, poring over satellite imagery. "They're not just randomly destroying, they're targeting our infrastructure, our centers of production and research." This insight proved crucial. By predicting the aliens' next moves, Earth's defenders could evacuate key areas and set traps for the incoming predators. It wasn't enough to turn the tide, but it gave humanity a fighting chance. As the first month of the invasion drew to a close, the situation remained dire. Much of the world lay in ruins, and millions had perished. Yet, against all odds, humanity refused to break. Underground networks formed, sharing information and resources. Scientists worked around the clock to understand the alien technology and biology, searching for weaknesses to exploit. In a secure bunker beneath the Rocky Mountains, the remnants of the world's governments convened. The debates were fierce, with some arguing for continued attempts at negotiation, while others pushed for the deployment of nuclear weapons, despite the catastrophic consequences. It was Dr. Chen who offered a third path. "We've learned more about their biology," she explained, her eyes bright with determination despite her obvious exhaustion. "There are similarities to Earth life forms, similarities we can exploit. I believe we can develop a biological weapon of our own, something that targets these creatures without harming humans or our ecosystem." The proposal was controversial, but in the face of extinction, ethical concerns took a backseat to survival. Project Phoenix, as it was dubbed, was given the green light. Dr. Chen would lead a team of the world's brightest minds in a race against time to find humanity's salvation. As the meeting adjourned, Colonel Hawkins approached Dr. Chen. The soldier's face was scared, a testament to her close encounters with the alien predators. "Do you really think this can work?" she asked, her voice low. Dr. Chen met the colonel's gaze, her determination unwavering. "It has to," she replied, "because if it doesn't, there won't be a human race left to save." As they parted ways, each to their own crucial role in humanity's struggle, a grim resolve settled over the bunker. The road ahead would be long and fraught with danger, but one thing was certain: humanity would not go quietly into the night. The real battle for Earth was just beginning. Understanding the enemy. In the months following the initial invasion, Earth had become a battlefield unlike any in human history. The Zarkan's bioengineered predators continued their relentless assault, adapting to each new defense humanity devised. Yet, in the face of overwhelming odds, the human spirit refused to be extinguished. Dr. Samantha Chen's underground laboratory, hidden deep within the Appalachian Mountains, had become the epicenter of humanity's scientific resistance. Here, in a facility carved from solid rock and shielded from the aliens' advanced detection systems, she led a diverse team of biologists, geneticists, and xenobiologists in the race to understand that otherworldly foe. "We've made a breakthrough," Dr. Chen announced to her team, her eyes alight with a mixture of excitement and exhaustion. She gestured to a holographic display showing the cellular structure of one of the alien predators. "Look at the mitochondrial structure. It's unlike anything we've seen before, but it has a weakness." Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a brilliant geneticist from Tokyo, leaned in closer. "The energy production, it's hyper-efficient, but also incredibly specific. If we could disrupt this process—" "Exactly," Chen nodded. "We could potentially shut down their entire cellular function." As the scientists debated the implications of their discovery, an alert sounded through the facility. Colonel Sarah Hawkins' voice crackled over the intercom. "Dr. Chen, we've secured a live specimen, bringing it in now." The atmosphere in the lab tensed. They had studied alien corpses before, but a live specimen was unprecedented. It offered immense scientific potential, but also great danger. The creature, one of the smaller, faster variants the soldiers had dubbed stalkers, was contained within a reinforced pod. Even sedated, its muscles twitched with latent power, and its exoskeleton seemed to shift colors, adapting to its surroundings. "Incredible," Dr. Chen breathed, approaching the containment unit. "The adaptive camouflage is operating even at a cellular level." For weeks, the team worked around the clock, studying the living stalker. They made rapid progress, uncovering the secrets of its biology and the intricate cybernetic enhancements that made it such a formidable predator. Meanwhile, on the surface, the war raged on. Colonel Hawkins led daring raids against alien strongholds, gathering intel and testing new weapons developed from Dr. Chen's research. One such weapon, an electromagnetic pulse gun, proved particularly effective against the cybernetic components of the alien creatures. "It's not a permanent solution," Hawkins reported during a strategy meeting, "but it gives us a fighting chance. We can stun them long enough to take them down." The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. Zain al-Rashid, a climatologist who had joined the team to study the environmental impact of the alien invasion, noticed something odd in the atmospheric data. "The aliens are terraforming our planet," he realized with a start. "Slowly, subtly, but they're changing Earth's atmosphere to be more like their home world." This discovery shed new light on the Zarkhan's tactics. They weren't just invading, they were preparing Earth for colonization. It also provided a crucial weakness to exploit. Dr. Chen's team redoubled their efforts, now focusing on developing a compound that could weaponize Earth's native atmosphere against the invaders. It was a delicate balance, creating something lethal to the aliens without harming Earth's ecosystems or human population. As they worked, reports from the outside world grew increasingly dire. Major cities had fallen, turned into alien hives where new predators were bred and released. The human population had been reduced to scattered enclaves, hidden underground or in remote areas. But there were glimmers of hope. In the Amazon rainforest, indigenous tribes had formed an effective guerrilla force, using their deep knowledge of the jungle to ambush and destroy alien hunting parties. In the ruins of St. Petersburg, a group of engineers have repurposed old Soviet-era factories to mass-produce EMP weapons. These stories of resilience and ingenuity fueled the scientists' determination. After months of tireless work, they finally had a prototype, a bioweapon that targeted the aliens' unique cellular structure, delivered through a specially designed aerosol. The first field test was conducted in the ruins of Atlanta, which had become a major alien breeding ground. A small team, led by Colonel Hawkins herself, infiltrated the city's outskirts. They deployed the aerosol canisters and waited. The effect was almost immediate. The alien predators began to convulse, their movements becoming erratic. Within hours, the entire hive had been neutralized. "It works," Hawkins reported back, her voice thick with emotion. "God help me, it actually works." The news spread like wildfire through what remained of human communication networks. For the first time since the invasion began, humanity had a true weapon against the Zarkhan threat. But their victory was short-lived. Within days, the aliens responded with a new wave of predators, creatures that seemed immune to the bioweapon. Worse, they attacked with renewed ferocity, as if enraged by the humans' audacity to fight back. "They're evolving," Dr. Chen realized with growing horror. "Faster than we could have imagined. They're adapting to our defenses in real time." The Zarkhan's true technological superiority was becoming apparent. Their bioengineering capabilities far surpassed anything humanity had achieved. Each new predator was more terrifying than the last, combining the most lethal traits from Earth's own evolutionary history with alien biology and advanced cybernetics. As the situation grew increasingly desperate, a radical plan began to form. If they couldn't beat the aliens through conventional means, perhaps they could use the Zarkhan's own technology against them. "We need to capture one of their ships," Dr. Chen proposed during an emergency meeting of Earth's remaining leaders. "If we can understand their technology, maybe we can find a way to shut down all their predators at once." The idea was met with skepticism and outright disbelief. The alien ships were heavily guarded, their technology light years beyond human understanding. It seemed like an impossible task. But as the meeting wore on, and reports of new alien atrocities poured in, the impossible began to seem like their only option. "We've tried fighting them on our terms," Colonel Hawkins said, her scarred face set in grim determination. "Maybe it's time we fought them on theirs." As the plans for this audacious mission began to take shape, Dr. Chen couldn't shake a nagging feeling. The aliens' tactics, their methods of adaptation, something about it all seemed almost familiar. She pored over the data they had gathered, looking for patterns, for anything that might give them an edge. And then, In the early hours of the morning she saw it. A connection so profound, so terrifying, that it threatened to shake the very foundations of their resistance. The truth about the Zarkhan and their predators was far more complex and far more dangerous than anyone had imagined, and Dr. Chen realized that to save humanity, they might have to redefine what it meant to be human in the first place. As dawn broke over their hidden facility, Dr. Chen steeled herself for the battles to come. The war for Earth was entering a new phase, and the stakes had never been higher. The next move they made could determine not just the fate of humanity, but the very future of life in the galaxy. The Great Resistance. The revelation Dr. Samantha Chen uncovered in those early morning hours sent shockwaves through what remained of Earth's leadership. The Zarkhan weren't just invaders, they were genetic engineers of the highest order, and humanity was their latest experiment. They've been here before, Dr. Chen explained to a stunned war council. Thousands, maybe millions of years ago. They didn't just study Earth's life forms, they shaped them, including us. The implications were staggering. Humanity's rapid advancement, our adaptability, even our drive to explore and conquer, all might be the result of ancient Zarkhan manipulation. Colonel Sarah Hawkins, ever the pragmatist, cut through the existential dread. How does this help us fight them? Dr. Chen's eyes gleamed with a mix of fear and excitement. If we're their creation, then we might be able to interface with their technology. More importantly, we might be able to evolve faster than they anticipated. This insight sparked a new phase in the resistance. While plans to capture an alien ship continued, Dr. Chen's team began exploring ways to unlock humanity's hidden potential. Meanwhile, the war raged on. The Zarkhan, seemingly aware that humanity had discovered a crucial secret, intensified their attacks. New variants of predators emerged, each more terrifying than the last. In the ruins of Sydney, Australian Special Forces encountered a creature that could control the minds of its victims, turning civilians into unwitting weapons. In the frozen wastes of Siberia, Russian troops battled massive, bear-like beasts that could survive in the harshest cold. But humanity was far from defeated. The shared knowledge of our potential galvanized the resistance. People pushed themselves to new limits, driven by the belief that they could be more than what they were. In Africa, a young girl named Amara discovered she could communicate telepathically with others, coordinating guerrilla strikes against alien patrols with unprecedented precision. In the Rocky Mountains, a group of climbers found they could alter their body chemistry to survive extreme altitudes, establishing hidden bases beyond the reach of alien sensors. Dr. Chen worked tirelessly to understand and enhance these emerging abilities. It's like we've had a lock on our genes, she explained, and the stress of the invasion, combined with our new understanding, is finally opening it. But for every step forward humanity took, the Zarkhan seemed to have a counter. They unleashed a new wave of nanobots, microscopic machines that could rewrite human DNA, turning people into mindless drones under alien control. The resistance fought back with increasingly sophisticated technology. Dr. Yuki Tanaka developed a countermeasure to the nanobots, a swarm of human-made nanites that could protect and enhance human physiology. Colonel Hawkins, ever on the front lines, was one of the first to receive this treatment. "It's like every cell in my body is singing," she reported, her reflexes and strength enhanced beyond normal human limits. As remarkable as these advancements were, they came at a cost. There were failed experiments, people whose bodies or minds couldn't handle the rapid changes. The line between human and something else began to blur. Ethical debates raged within the resistance. Were they saving humanity or changing it into something unrecognizable? But with the fate of the planet hanging in the balance, such philosophical concerns often took a backseat to survival. The turning point came during a massive Zarkhan assault on one of the last major human strongholds in the Alps. The aliens attacked with a force that seemed unstoppable, tens of thousands of predators supported by their formidable air power. But humanity was ready. Enhanced soldiers stood shoulder to shoulder with civilian volunteers, each pushing the limits of human potential. Amara, now a teenager, coordinated the defense telepathically, allowing for instantaneous communication and strategy adjustment. Dr. Chen, usually confined to her lab, found herself on the battlefield, her enhanced intellect allowing her to analyze and counter alien tactics in real time. Colonel Hawkins led from the front, her augmented body moving with inhuman speed and precision. The battle raged for days. The mountains shook with the force of alien weaponry, while the sky was lit by the constant flash of human counterattacks. Slowly, impossibly, the tide began to turn. On the fifth day, as dawn broke over the blood-soaked peaks, the Zarkan forces began to retreat. For the first time since the invasion began, humanity had won a decisive victory. The success in the Alps was a watershed moment. Similar victories followed across the globe. In the Amazon, enhanced human warriors reclaimed vast swaths of the rainforest. In the ruins of Tokyo, a group of technopaths, humans who could interface directly with technology, hijacked and reprogrammed a squadron of alien drones. But even as humanity celebrated these victories, a new challenge emerged. The changes that had allowed them to fight back were becoming more pronounced, more permanent. Children born to enhanced parents showed signs of new abilities from birth. The human genome was evolving at an unprecedented rate. Dr. Chen, watching a group of these children demonstrate abilities that would have been considered superhuman just a year ago, felt a mix of pride and trepidation. "We're changing," she murmured to Colonel Hawkins, "becoming something new." Hawkins, her own body now more machine than flesh, nodded grimly. "But are we still human?" The question hung in the air, unanswered. As the Resistance prepared for their most daring mission yet, the capture of a Zarkan mothership, the future of humanity had never been more uncertain. They had started this war fighting for survival. Now, as they stood on the brink of a possible victory, they faced an even greater challenge, defining what it meant to be human in a post-invasion world. As the sun set on another day of this changed Earth, Dr. Chen looked out over the bustling Resistance base. Humans with glowing eyes and metallic skin worked alongside those who could manipulate energy or communicate with machines. It was a far cry from the world she had known before the invasion. "We've resisted," she thought. "We've adapted, but what have we become?" The answer to that question, she realized, might determine not just the outcome of the war, but the very future of their species. As humanity prepared to take the fight to the stars, the greatest battle might be the one for their own identity. The turning point. The plan to capture a Zarkan mothership was audacious, bordering on suicidal. Yet, it represented humanity's best hope for turning the tide of the war decisively. Dr. Samantha Chen, Colonel Sarah Hawkins, and a hand-picked team of enhanced humans prepared for what could be their final mission. Their target was a massive ship hovering over the ruins of what was once New Delhi. Intelligence suggested it was a command and control center for Zarkan operations in the Eastern Hemisphere. If they could capture it, they might gain access to the aliens' entire network. The team gathered in a hidden base beneath the Thar Desert. Each member had been chosen for their unique abilities, honed through a combination of alien-inspired technology and unlocked human potential. Amara, now 17, had become a powerful telepath and would serve as their mental shield and coordinator. Jin, a former South Korean hacker, could interface directly with any technology, his mind moving through computer systems like water. Nikolai, a Russian ex-soldier, had been modified to withstand extreme conditions, his skin now a living armor. Dr. Chen herself had undergone enhancements, her already brilliant mind now capable of processing information at speeds that would have been impossible for a baseline human. Colonel Hawkins, more machine now than flesh, would lead the assault team. As they made final preparations, Dr. Chen addressed the group. "What we're about to attempt has never been done before. The risks are enormous, but so are the stakes. If we succeed, we may finally have the means to end this war." Colonel Hawkins nodded grimly. "And if we fail, there may not be a human race left to save." The mission began under the cover of a violent monsoon. Using technology reverse-engineered from captured alien craft, they approached the mothership in a stealth shuttle. Amara's telepathic abilities cloaked their minds from alien detection, while Jin worked to jam any signals that might give them away. As they neared the massive ship, the true scale of their task became apparent. The mothership was a city in the sky, stretching for kilometers in every direction. Finding their target, the central control room, would be like finding a needle in a haystack. They docked undetected in a little-used maintenance bay. As soon as they set foot inside the ship, they were plunged into an alien world. The corridor was pulsed with an eerie bioluminescence, and the air itself seemed alive with nanomachines. "Stay focused," Hawkins warned as they moved deeper into the ship. "Remember your training. We're not human in here. We're ghosts." For hours, they crept through the labyrinthine interior of the mothership. Amara's telepathy guided them away from large concentrations of Zarkan, while Jin tapped into the ship's systems, leading them ever closer to the control center. They encountered resistance. It was inevitable in a ship this size. But their enhancements, combined with the element of surprise, allowed them to overcome each obstacle. Nicolet's armored form shrugged off energy blasts that would have vaporized a normal human. Hawkins moved with inhuman speed, her cybernetic limbs a blur as she dispatched alien guards. Finally, they reached the heart of the ship. The control center was a vast chamber, filled with technology beyond human understanding. At its center stood a being unlike any they had encountered before, clearly a Zarkan, but different. Larger, more imposing, its very presence radiated power and intelligence. "The ship mind," Dr. Chen whispered in awe, "the living core of the mothership." Before they could act, the ship mind spoke, its voice resonating not in the air, but directly in their minds. "We have been expecting you, children of Earth. You have surpassed our wildest expectations." The team froze, caught off guard by this unexpected welcome. It was Colonel Hawkins who recovered first, her weapon trained on the alien being. "What do you mean, expecting us?" The ship mind's response was calm, almost amused. "This invasion, this war, it was never about conquest. It was a test, a crucible to force your evolution." Dr. Chen's mind raced, connecting dots she hadn't even known existed. The genetic tampering, the invasion, the increasingly powerful predators, you've been pushing us to evolve. Precisely, the ship mind confirmed. Millennia ago, we seeded your world with the potential for greatness. Now, we have returned to see that potential realized. The revelation hit the team like a physical blow. Everything they had suffered, the millions of lives lost, all part of some cosmic experiment. Amara, her young face twisted with anger and pain, lashed out telepathically at the ship mind. To everyone's shock, the alien entity recoiled. "Impossible," it muttered. "Your powers should not have advanced this far." That moment of weakness was all the opening they needed. Jin interfaced with the ship's systems, while Nicolet and Hawkins engaged the suddenly not-so-invincible ship mind in physical combat. Dr. Chen worked furiously to understand and control the alien technology surrounding them. The battle that ensued was like nothing Earth had ever seen. It was fought on physical, mental, and technological fronts simultaneously. The ship mind, though powerful, found itself outmatched by the very beings it had helped create. In the end, it was Amara who struck the decisive blow. Her telepathic assault, powered by the pain and rage of a planet pushed to the brink, overwhelmed the ship mind's defenses. The alien entity collapsed, its connection to the mothership severed. As alarms blared and the ship shuddered around them, Dr. Chen realized the magnitude of what they had accomplished. "We've done it," she breathed. "We've taken control of the mothership." But their victory had come at a cost. The strain of the battle had pushed their enhancements to the limit. Nicolet's armor was cracked and failing. Jin lay unconscious, blood trickling from his nose after his intense cyber battle. Even Hawkins, with all her cybernetic upgrades, was clearly operating on her last reserves of power. As Dr. Chen worked to stabilize the ship's systems, a new realization dawned. They had won this battle, but the war was far from over. The Zarkhan fleet was vast, and now they had been provoked in a way they never expected. "We need to prepare," Hawkins said, her voice heavy with exhaustion and the weight of command. "They'll be coming for us now. All of them." Dr. Chen nodded, her mind already racing with plans and possibilities. They had the mothership, access to Zarkhan technology and knowledge. But would it be enough? As the captured mothership limped away from Earth, carrying with it humanity's hopes for survival, Dr. Chen looked out at the stars. They had taken their first steps into a larger universe, but the cost had been astronomical, and the greatest challenges, she feared, were yet to come. The turning point had arrived. Humanity had proven itself worthy of the stars. Now, they would have to fight to keep their place among them. Counterattack. With the captured Zarkhan mothership as their new base of operations, humanity began to turn the tables on their former oppressors. Dr. Samantha Chen and her team worked tirelessly to unlock the secrets of alien technology, while Colonel Sarah Hawkins prepared Earth's forces for a counteroffensive like no other. The knowledge gained from the ship mind proved invaluable. Humanity learned that the Zarkhan, for all their advanced technology, were a dying race. Their obsession with genetic engineering stemmed from a desperate attempt to evolve beyond a genetic degradation that threatened their existence. Earth, with its diverse biosphere and the humans they had helped shape eons ago, was their last best hope for survival. Armed with this knowledge, Dr. Chen made a startling proposal. "We can offer them a deal," she suggested to the War Council. "Our genetic diversity for their technology, coexistence instead of conquest." The idea was met with skepticism and outright hostility from some quarters. After years of brutal war, the thought of negotiating with the Zarkhan was almost unthinkable to many. But as humanity pushed outward, reclaiming their world and striking at Zarkhan holdings throughout the solar system, it became clear that a war of extermination would be costly beyond measure. Amara, whose telepathic abilities had grown to encompass vast distances, made contact with other alien races who had suffered under Zarkhan experimentation. Some offered alliance, others warned of the dangers that still lurked in the galaxy. Jin, fully recovered and now able to meld his consciousness with entire networks of alien technology, worked to create a defense grid that spanned the entire solar system. As the conflict escalated, the full extent of humanity's evolution became apparent. Children born to enhanced parents displayed abilities that defied conventional understanding. A new generation was emerging, one that blurred the line between human and something more. The final push came 3 years after the capture of the mothership. A massive fleet, comprised of human ships, reverse-engineered from Zarkhan technology and staffed by enhanced individuals, struck at the heart of Zarkhan space. The battle was fierce, fought across multiple star systems. Humanity's forces, though outnumbered, fought with a ferocity and adaptability that caught the Zarkhan off guard. In the end, it was not military might that decided the conflict, but a daring mission led by Dr. Chen herself. Using a combination of technology and her own enhanced intellect, she managed to broadcast a message directly into the core of Zarkhan society. Her offer was simple: peace, cooperation, and a chance for both species to evolve together. The alternative was mutual destruction, victory and aftermath. The Zarkhan civil war lasted mere weeks. Faced with extinction or cooperation, large factions of their society chose to accept humanity's offer. Those who refused were quickly overwhelmed by a combination of human forces and their own kind who had chosen peace. The ceasefire that followed was tense, filled with mistrust on both sides. But slowly, cautiously, a new era of cooperation began. Earth, forever changed by the conflict, emerged as a power in its own right. The advancements made during the war catapulted human technology centuries ahead. Colonies were established throughout the solar system and beyond. But the victory came with its own challenges. The human race had changed, possibly forever. The generation born during the war displayed abilities that their parents could scarcely comprehend. Humanity stood at a crossroads of evolution, with the potential to splinter into multiple subspecies. Dr. Chen, now recognized as one of the architects of victory, found herself grappling with the ethical implications of their success. "We won the war," she often said, "but at what cost to our humanity?" Colonel Hawkins, her body now more machine than flesh, became an advocate for those who had been enhanced during the conflict. "We're still human," she argued, "just more so." Amara, her telepathic abilities now spanning light years, became humanity's ambassador to the stars. She made contact with dozens of alien races, opening up new avenues for trade, cultural exchange, and scientific advancement. Jin's melding with alien technology led to breakthroughs in AI and human-machine interfaces, paving the way for a new understanding of consciousness itself. As Earth took its place in a larger galactic community, new challenges emerged. Other alien races, some friendly, some hostile, took notice of the young species that had defeated the dreaded Zarkan. But humanity, tempered by war and evolved beyond their origins, faced the future with determination. They had survived extinction, transcended their limitations, and claimed their place among the stars. Dr. Chen, standing on the observation deck of Earth's first extrasolar colony, looked out at the alien sky. The path ahead was uncertain, filled with both promise and peril. But as she watched enhanced humans working alongside reformed Zarkan and other alien allies, she allowed herself to feel something she hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. "We're not the same species that faced invasion all those years ago," she mused. "But perhaps in becoming something more than human, we finally understood what humanity truly means." As the twin suns of humanity's new home world set on the horizon, Dr. Chen smiled. The war was over. The real adventure, she realized, was just beginning. The end.